Hey guys, welcome back to Patronus Photography. Today I want to talk about Pan F, Ilford Pan F, and my misadventures and adventures with it. It is a fine-grain, low-speed film that comes in 120 or 35mm sizes. By nature, it's pretty contrast at the box speed, which is 50 ASA. Now, I have a love-hate relationship with this film, partly because of my love for fine-grained anything and my love for nice tonality. Now, my early attempts to shoot this were a wreck, so I'm going to show you what I did and eventually how I made this film work for me. So this is one of the first shots I took with Pan F. It's a shot of my uncle, and I used my Bronica ETRS for this. It's a 645 medium format. Like I said, the box speed is really contrasty, so that means less subtlety in the tonality or in the shades of gray in the image, which you can see. Even so, there's some nice detail here, and I think the shot turned out pretty well for a first attempt. Now, I later sold the Bronica 645 and I picked up a Hasselblad 500, which shot these next images. Now, this is where things started to go wrong. This particular roll had some white flecks all over it, and this can happen if you leave it in the fixer too long. It develops little pinprick holes. In this particular case, that's not what happened. I think I picked up some dust somewhere, but either way, I was not terribly pleased with these images. They just kind of lacked something, a punch or a pizzazz or a smoothness or something that I was looking for that I just wasn't seeing. So my next roll of Pan F, I shot through the Canon ELAN IIe at 35mm. I decided to do something with this roll that I'd never done before, and that is to pull the film. That means if the box speed says 50, that I would shoot it at 25 ASA. So what this does is reduce the contrast, among other things. It's basically pretending like the film needs more light than it does. It changes your metering, obviously, and it does change your development times. So be sure to check out the massive dev chart if you do try this. So I loaded it up, and over the next 4 or 5 months, I shot the entire roll of 36. Now, this was a mistake. Pan F is a film that needs to be shot from first frame to final frame in about 3 or 4 days optimally. It's like a shoot over the weekend film. The latent image on Pan F is not real long-lived. So for example, here's a shot from like a month before I developed it, and you can tell it's pretty rotten. Now, here's a couple more from a week or two before development, same roll, and you can see that I still lost data. It got cruddy, overly contrasty, grainy, weird, and so on. It almost looks like really ancient film. Now, these final 2 shots were from a car show, and they were shot within a day or so of developing, and I was very pleased with how they turned out. So pulling the film and then developing those final frames within a day or two of shooting really brought out some subtleties and tonality that I really liked. My most recent roll of Pan F, I put through a Yashica Model C, which is a highly underrated and fantastic little twin lens reflex. This is probably the best shot from the roll. It's my uncle again. As you can see, the tonality here is really, really killer, and I feel like it did well even in full sunlight. The dynamic range seems pretty decent when you pull it. And in general, I was just happier with this last roll because I shot it quickly, I developed it quickly, and I had kind of perfected or at least honed my developing skills, so I didn't run into some of the issues that I had the first time around. The last 2 rolls were both developed in Ilford DD-X, which is a great developer for pushing, but I'm not entirely displeased with it as a pulling developer either. So that's my adventure with Pan F. If you're wanting to try it, I would suggest shooting it at box speed first, and remember, whether you shoot this at 25 ASA or at 50 ASA, you're going to need a lot of light, so fast lenses, bright days, all that good stuff. As I look through these photos, I kind of remember struggling to get enough light for some of these shots, but looking back, I kind of see that it was worth it. So if you have experience with Pan F, tell me about it below. I'd love to hear any tips or tricks that you guys have discovered while doing your own film development. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time.